This is Joan Crawford welcoming you to Stars Over Hollywood, presented by Carnation Evaporated Milk. And here is your host for Carnation, Art Ballinger.
Welcome to Hollywood, home and workshop of the world's most glamorous people. We're happy to say that beginning today and each week from now on, Stars Over Hollywood will be brought to you by Carnation, the world's favorite brand of evaporated milk. And today we present transcribed the romantic drama, I Knew This Woman, starring Hollywood's favorite actress, Joan Crawford. Ladies, when you buy milk, remember that no other kind of milk has as many uses as Carnation.
Carnation for cooking.
Carnation for coffee.
Carnation for baby feeding. Good. For milk that's extra good, you should get the brand that's called Carnation. Rich. For milk that's creamy rich, you should get the brand that's called Carnation.
Yes, it's Carnation, bringing you Stars Over Hollywood. And speaking of stars, here's Miss Joan Crawford.
Hello, Art. I'm delighted to make another appearance on Stars Over Hollywood, and especially in this particular story.
How's that, Miss Crawford?
Well, it's one of the few instances where I've played myself. I chose today's story because, in my opinion, it's not only an entertaining one, but because it's also a story of helpfulness. And another thing, the story of Susan Crane proves that any challenge can be an opportunity as well.
Well, I guess opportunity is one thing, but it's performance that proves the pudding. That's what we keep telling people about Carnation Evaporated Milk. For instance, there are lots of opportunities to use Carnation in the hundreds of dishes that call for milk. But what Carnation does in making foods taste better is the important thing. For every milk use, for most cream purposes, Carnation is ideal because it adds such richness and flavor. You see, Carnation is concentrated to more than double richness by having water removed. As it pours from the can, undiluted Carnation has the consistency of cream. It's rich and heavy enough to whip. And even when you mix Carnation with an equal amount of water, you still have milk that's richer than your state standard for bottled milk. Yet Carnation costs almost 1/3 less than bottled milk. So with recipes that call for milk, with dishes that call for cream, spend less. Use Carnation, the milk from contented cows. And now, Act One of I Knew This Woman, starring Joan Crawford. Curtain going up.
Oh, she was quite a person, Susan Crane. A little quieter now than she used to be. A woman now. I have to think hard to remember the girl who was always laughing. Always having fun no matter what she did. And yet that was the Susan Crane of only a year ago when I first told her about Bob Willett.
So I've got to figure out some excuse that won't hurt Elsa's feelings. But I'm not going to her party. I simply can't live through another one of those blind dates her husband gets me. Or maybe I'm too hard to impress. Am I stuffy, Joan?
No, stop it, of course
Well,
not.
something's wrong. I met half the single men in town, and no spark. And I'm not husband hunting.
Wait a minute. Bob Willett. He's a darling, and we've been friends for ages. I don't know why I didn't think of him before, but... Well, you and Bob would hit it off perfectly. You can find your own romance. But I think you two could have a very swell friendship that would mean a lot to both of you.
Friendship between a man and a woman? I never heard of it.
Well, and it's about time you did, because it happens to be one of the nicest experiences in life.
Oh, I was only kidding. I'd like to meet a man who'd be a real pal. Only, how can you be so sure Bob Willett and I'd click?
Because I've known the two of you for a long time, and because I happen to love you both.
Oh, you interest me muchly. When am I going to meet him?
I didn't give a party for them. It's too hard to get acquainted with a mob of people around. Instead, a few days later, I invited them to a family dinner. I knew if either Susan or Bob put up a stone wall of formality, my 4 youngsters would take care of it in a hurry, which they did, and in a big way. By the time dinner was over and the children were in bed, the stone walls were only a memory. And Susan and Bob were friends.
Oh, those kids of yours are really something, Joe. Oh, kids are great. No axes to grind, no apples to polish, nothing to be afraid of or to worry about. They meet you, they like you, they say so.
The catch is that if they don't like you, they're liable to say it too.
Well, don't stifle it, Joan. A kid's instinct is nothing to monkey with.
I wonder if that's why I never feel close to anyone children don't like. And I don't trust people who don't understand children either. At least I don't if I know it. But I suppose there are lots of people who are very careful to keep that hidden so you never find it out.
I didn't know it, but a time was coming when I would remember those words of Susan's. It was midnight when Susan and Bob left, and I knew the usual weeks of getting acquainted had all been bridged in that one evening. I saw them often after that, and each time it seemed to me Susan was prettier than the time before. Once I laughingly asked her if it was love.
Oh, not the way you mean, Joan. It's just that I'm having so much fun. It's exactly like you said it would be. Bob and I are pals, Joan. Just wonderful, wonderful pals.
But as time went on, I knew there was something wrong with the picture. Bob's attitude towards Susan changed. The happy, easy friendliness was gone. He was quiet around her. And when they were together, his eyes would follow every move she made. I don't think Bob would have talked to me about it. And I certainly wouldn't have questioned him under ordinary conditions, but everything led up to it so naturally that night at the country club dance. It was a wonderful party, and Susan looked beautiful. She had more partners than a debutante. But each time Bob watched her dance away, his frown got deeper. I met him later out on the terrace. Oh, Bob, it's a perfect evening. Music, a moon, everything beautiful. Stop acting like it's a swell night for a murder.
Don't give me any ideas.
Bob, what's the matter?
Joan, you saw Steve Thompson tonight, didn't you?
You mean the tall, dark man with the Harrington party?
Yeah, that's the guy. Susan met him a couple of weeks ago, and she's carrying a torch big enough to light up a town.
Oh, no. No, I don't believe it, Bob. Well, Susan would have talked to me about him, and she hasn't even mentioned his name.
She's in love with the guy, Joan, I'm telling you. And he's wrong with Susan. Now, don't get the idea that this is jealousy talking either. I love her enough to want her happiness more than I want my own. But she's not going to have it with Steve Thompson. Anyway, thanks for listening, beautiful. Let's go in and dance.
I put in some miserable hours that night, worrying about Bob's heartbreak and Susan's future. I wanted so much to help them, but I couldn't for the life of me think of a single thing to do. The next morning, Susan called asking if she could bring Steve Thompson over to dinner.
You told me you were going to let me find my own romance, Joan. Well, I found it when I met Steve. You'll be crazy about him. I know you will.
That night was the first time I saw Susan and Steve together. And all I could think of was, they're in love. Really in love. Bob was right. It made me feel a little sick for Bob. But as the evening went along, I couldn't believe he was right in the things he'd said about Steve. He was wonderful company, and he had a lot of charm. I enjoyed him, and I liked him. And when Susan and Steve got up to go, well, I was sorry their visit was over.
I hope you let me come again, John. I promise I'll act better next time.
He was scared stiff about meeting you, Joan.
Now, wait a minute. Let's clear that up. It's just that I knew you and Susan were close friends, and that your opinion means a lot to her.
She's been taking you for a nice long ride, Steve. Susan asks my opinion, sure, but then she does exactly as she pleases.
Only when I disagree with you.
There, you see? See what I mean?
If I'd just known that in advance, I could have been my own obnoxious self.
Well, that's something to look forward to the next time. And I do hope it's soon.
If I have my way, it'll be sooner than you expect. And as often as Susan will bring me.
In the next few months, I saw a lot of Susan and Steve, and at first it was always fun being with them. But as Steve became more relaxed, more sure of himself, I saw flashes of a temperament that was very strange, even a little frightening. All of a sudden, Steve just didn't add up. That charming exterior didn't match his violent opinions, his boredom with everything domestic, the way he laughed at honest sentiment. Then one Saturday afternoon, Susan came to see me, but alone. And that was when all the pieces of the strange, frightening puzzle began to fall into place.